All right, here we go. How are we doing today? I hope everybody's having a good morning so far. SPY's bouncing back, probably making the bulls a little bit happy, at least on the day today. Good morning though. Happy Friday, the last trading day of the week. It makes me a little bit sad, but yet a little bit happy. Guess we'll lean on the sad part here. Okay. What an open, though. All right. First thing that we're going to get into today is the S&P 500, or the SPY, is on a very critical trend. We've been watching this trend for a while here with the SPY. It has been pretty consistent within this zone. Now, what we're seeing is that it's actually below the zone, but today it's coming up to test the trend line. Now, this trend line hasn't been perfect or anything. It's been more of a rough trend line, but still it's testing it right now. It hit off of it a lot the past few days. As we got towards the trend, we saw a lot of price action come into play. Again, this morning in pre-market, we're testing it. Now, something to watch for here is if we end up seeing the trend break to the upside, that's where we could see a possible shift up. You know, it might take a while, who knows, but I am watching for that possibility there happening today. I lean to the downside though still, given more of the bearish climate hitting the market here. Something that I like for today is there's a big gap to the downside, and that gap goes right down to none other than 674. So I'll be watching that 674 zone for a possible gap fill if we do see a sell-off happen. Now, I'm not saying that the SPY is going to do that, but that is something that I'll be watching for if we start to see, let's say, confirmation below a couple of these zones here. Right now, though, SPY has a nice green candle going, getting through that trend. Like I said, we have to be ready for that possibility, and we are starting to see that buying pressure pick back up a little bit. Seeing a bit of a shift here. That was a good gap up this morning. So far, good price action right at open. Okay. Really not bad. Yeah. A little positive comeback here this morning on SPY. Because like I said, that's a big trend to test here, and it seems like it was going to try to pop back. That's a pretty big break out there coming through right here at open. We're only 3 minutes into the day. Already moving. Amazon crashed hard. Are they recovering though? Oh wow, not really. I know they crashed pretty bad last night though. Gosh, some of the Mag 7s are starting to roar to life. Look at that Apple move. 1.2%. And SPY up 1%. Pretty damn good move there by the SPY, if I must say so. Nvidia is helping power that up, though. I'd like to see Nvidia moving higher here this morning. That might be something to watch for. I know Bitcoin made a really good recovery over this past night and into this morning, too. BTC USD is back up to 67,800. It actually hit 60K. Wow. It ended up hitting 60K last night. That's pretty crazy. Bounced like right off, though. But let's look at that daily chart. 60K. That's crazy. Man. That is a huge support. Good bounce back, though. Seems like SPY and Bitcoin both enjoying some recovery. SPY almost has that look like an inverse head and shoulders pattern. It just didn't really line up with the second shoulder line there. Bit of strangeness so far. It was kind of set up like that though, but I would just say more of the downtrend broke. Downtrend broke. See that recovery. Interesting though. Back above 682, high of pre-market. Fairly bullish sign as that break happened. Let's go Exxon and the Patriots. Hey, you're looking for the Patriots. Okay. That's nice. AMD, Potter says. Man, I really like that Exxon move, though, again. Exxon Mobil is really blasting up. High of pre-market coming up. Wow. We might be testing the recent high and start breaking out again. Tangy Man bought $40 worth of Bitcoin yesterday. Nice, Tangy. It makes me... I always laugh because Bitcoin's 68K a coin. The Bitcoin loyalists poured in last night. Question is, are there enough of them with leverage to make a difference, Coconut said. Looks like they are for now. Maybe they can get a snowball started back up. That would be kind of nice. Sorry about that. Open up my book map real quick. There we go. Man, that SPY though. So beautiful today. So beautiful. Another new high of the day. The directional breakout is still continuing. Love it. That's really all we need right there. That's all we need. AAL has a huge rip going. You know, those airlines have been really going up a lot lately. Wow, AAL, no kidding. Right back up again. Hey, did you guys hear the bell ring this morning? When the market opened, the bell? For some reason, I'm not hearing it lately. On Thinkorswim, I'm wondering if something happened there. What the hell? Yeah. I've been listening for it too, Tangy. I don't know what's been going on with that. It should be happening. I'll have to test what's going on there. Nobel. Oh, everybody noticed the Nobel. That's funny. Let's see. Yeah, Thinkorswim sound is on. It's weird. All right, I'll have to fix that. I'll have to fix that here because it's been bothering me. Go check on AMD again, which is one of my favorites of the morning so far on the recovery. It's up actually 5% today, which is nice. Advanced Money Destroyer's becoming dispenser today. Back above $200 is one of the notable things about it that I like a bit more than the other stocks here today. Use fighting to hold 20. Energy Fuels. Not looking the best today, Tangy man. URA, not the best either. At least they came back a little bit, though. Netflix is looking good again. They had a pretty good run going yesterday at open. Today, they did have a good initial move. Seems like a weird wick and slight rejection back, though, so far. Maybe they can continue as the day goes. How's Ford and General Motors? Nothing too good there. GM actually falling back off. GM was on fire for a while here. Started pulling back the past couple days, but my gosh, GM really popped off this year too. Since the low of 25, GM is up not quite 100%. Oh, you know what? I think it is actually. Yeah, it is. Over 100%. General Motors. Go check Tesla. Nice low from like the middle of November here. Look at support. Of course, we just broke through big support at 416, 415. Now we're testing support around 383. It's going to be a big zone. It bounced pretty close to there yesterday, but didn't quite get that low. I just don't love the setup with Tesla at all. I feel like that it's going to end up falling back somewhere into this range. Need about 3,600 off the cycle, Tangi said. Whoa, there you go. You'll rebuy when it cycles low again? Hell yeah, you. I know what you mean by the cycles there. Stock has some crazy action. Is MGM and Win still doing good? MGM was really exploding earlier this week. They pulled back a little bit. Looks like yesterday they filled the gap. Now they're trading like in the mid-range of that pullback. I don't love it. That says they reported earnings this morning in pre-market. They did? I don't remember seeing that on here. Oh, they might have, but they just didn't throw it on here. I'm surprised. They put in Plains All-American Pipeline. They put in Biogen, Centene, ROIV instead of MGM Casino or Resorts. Weird. Normally, I feel like they throw that one on. Let's actually confirm that they even did that, though. They had a lot of price adjustments this morning. But yeah, they did report earnings technically yesterday, it looks like. Or the other day. Kind of strange with how they popped off earlier in the week. They did like some full year 2025 business updates earlier in the week. So I don't know if that like was pretty much their earnings or pretty strange how they reported. Definitely doesn't line up right on TradingView's chart. That's for sure. You bought silver miners and critical minerals here. Speaking of critical minerals, how's critical metals? Bought APLD on the dip too. Ooh. Look at the trend line APLD is bouncing. This is a pretty big spot for APLD. You know what they say, Tangi, man. X marks the spot. It's bouncing pretty good on there. That's pretty funny. But yeah, 14% today. Another big move. APLD always has big runs, though. Hopefully you can really solidify a better move here, Tangi. I'm getting a bit worried about APLD. That one looks pretty freaky on the chart. Ooh. Wow. What a pop today. Speaking of pops today, the SPY looks pretty similar. Up 1.18%. All right. We're going to do a poll today, and I want everybody to vote in this one. Everybody's going to vote in this one. If you don't, you're getting banned. Kidding, of course. Tangy Man says APLD for the long. $10. All right, I'm going to throw $10 into it now, Tangy. Coconut goes, don't ban me. Appreciate that, Tangy Man, as always. I like your message there, too. For the long.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Let's go see SPY there. Bouncing off support, 676. 677. So our poll today is going to be a special poll. Not the type of polls the Tangy Man likes. Let me write it up really quick. But essentially what we're going to be looking at is this overall pattern on the SPY. The SPY has been falling after slightly breaking out to new highs lately, and then it'll fall. But we get these recoveries off of these drops pretty much every single time. And again, we just saw a very similar drop, and now we're starting to possibly recover back up. This is a really good candle here today. And, you know, like, look at over here, for example. Now look at where I'm pointing on the chart. Like, look at that initial candle back up. You know, like, it's very similar to, like, today's candle. So this is a very, very big spot. Now, anything can change by the end of the day, but I want to see, like, will this overall, I'm going to call it a stair-step pattern. Will the stair-step pattern continue on the SPY? Or will it truly break down? Sorry, guys, just writing it out really quick. So there's only really two options here. Yeah, there's only two options. It's either the pattern holds or the pattern breaks. That's really the only way that we could go. All right, here we go. What do you guys think? Let's see how many votes we can get in this one. Sometimes people don't like to vote in these, like, slightly more complicated polls, but I think this one will be pretty good. It loves this staircase pattern here lately. Netflix round trip, J-Duck said. NFLX. Looks like a skyscraper. SoFi is trying to get back off the mat, down 30% since ER last Friday. Got to get over 2151 for support at some point, BW says. 2151. Let's go ahead and look at that daily. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Hey, I gotta say the put player from December here was pretty smart. You had to hold through some slight uptrend there at the beginning of the year, but for the most part, that ended up being pretty good. Your first batch of RCAC comes out of call contract today, up 52% on the shares. There we go. RCAT. Badass, Tangy. I actually think RCAT would be a fun one as time goes forward in the future. Drones are changing warfare. Hell, I might even buy a drone just to have for fun at this point. Although you got to be careful with the rules. Care with the super as well. Much love from Los Angeles. Tom, you're the GOAT. Appreciate that, Care. Appreciate that very much. Let's go. I'm going to change my last name to Brady, and then I'll be the GOAT. Wow, Tesla's really holding up above 400 today very well. Yeah, today is definitely a good day for a potential shift and a shift of mindset back up here. Volatility is hitting the market, as they say. Give me just a moment here. Don't forget to vote up in that poll. I'm gonna throw up Mag 7 really fast. Check in there. Google's breaking down. Meta's down, starting to drag on the SPY a bit. Man, Meta, bad breakdown there, though. 658, new low of the day coming in. Down 1.93%. You bought some BTG yesterday, too. That's holding up. Awesome. B2 Gold. That was a pretty good dip buy there. Especially with Bitcoin. Or sorry, with metals. I don't know why I thought Bitcoin there for half a second. But yeah, gold and silver are coming back a bit today. Almost emptied the pile. You were literally looking at Bitcoin when I said that? That's Perfect timing. Yeah, interesting with Bitcoin, though. We'll probably see a slight recovery coming, but realize that it doesn't mean it's going to recover up all day today. It is actually touching my first big resistance here, which was a previous support. Gosh, you got to go back really far to find these. Might as well go to a daily at that point. Yeah, go back to like the middle to end of 2024. Start to see Bitcoin really extend out above that zone, and that zone is now what Bitcoin's running into on the way up here today. Is that exact zone that it just blasted below actually yesterday, but it might reject there a little bit. Exxon's about to break highs. There we go. Man, Exxon's right there. Damn, Elite. That is a huge move. See if it can get up to 150 here today. That would be awesome. Let's go check in on AMD, Nvidia, pulling back a bit. Demure said just made a tiny profit off AMD, actually. Nice, Demure. That's what we like to hear. Have a great weekend. The housekeeper's coming. Now you can pay her. Tangy Man says, go Zom. Yeah, Zom's pretty awesome. Seeing the way it's moving. It was a good point in Discord. Somebody said the Zom move could be Iran news. Iran refuses to end nuclear enrichment talks with U.S. per the WSJ. Yeah, those talks late last night, of course. Michigan consumer sentiment, guys, just hit. Just hit. Let's go check SPY. It was 57.3. Forecast 55, previous 56.4. Nothing too bad right now. The consumer sentiment came in right around forecast, actually slightly above. So that's not a bad sign. It doesn't mean, though, that SPY is going to be moving. So keep that in mind. Does not mean that SPY is going to move. How is oil moving itself? Because, you know, we're seeing Zom make that move, but, like, crude isn't even up that much. It's actually break even. On the daily, it hasn't really done too much. Let's see that 15-minute chart. Yeah, I mean, it started kind of falling as those talks were ended and stuff, so not too much reaction really, but hey, I'll take the Zom move either way. Yeah, it says Iran refuses to end nuclear enrichment in talks with the U.S. Multiple people are posting that too. Zom breaking out though. 148.50. There we go. Beautiful. Pull up the Mag 7 here. Meta's really dying down today. Man, Nvidia's falling under 180 now. That was a good move up through that resistance earlier. Now it's really falling down. That's upsetting. Getting on the headlines real quick. I thought we'd see more stuff with Iran as far as like an update with that headline, but that's all we got so far. I saw that Iran said the talks were good. It seemed like things were all right, but let's see how oil's reacting to this news that just dropped. It is starting to pick up a little bit from the low this morning. Nothing too volatile, though, I'll say, over the past 10 minutes or so. Going back to Zom. Zom is where it's at. How's everybody's mornings going, though? You guys looking at anything special? Tangy says NOG. Northern Oil and Gas. Oh, yeah. Wow, Tangy. This looks like a very interesting setup down here around these recent lows and that $20 support. Wow, the risk reward here is strong. The one thing I don't like is that it's rejecting from this resistance, and when it's done that, it's gotten down to like $8 to $4. So this is a volatile one, Tangy, man. I don't know if zooming out I can deal with it or not. I would have a hard stop under 20 if I was to trade it. That's for sure. I do think, though, that if we look at NG or, you know, natural gas futures, I do think that natural gas can naturally continue to climb higher. That big pop recently was wild. Big pullback, though. Or was it a pullback? Was it just the contract shifting? It happened right as the contract switched, of course. I think it was the shift. This is what caused the gap anyways. That does happen from time to time for those of you that don't look at futures very often. Makes the charts look a bit strange sometimes. But yeah, NOG. I love the way it's starting to move in the short term, though. That daily chart looks pretty damn bullish. This is one of the more bullish setups and patterns that I really like to look for, too. It's coming up for like the third test. Care said rejected. On what? Zom? Oh. Got close to 149. Let's go see SPY again. 683.50. Pretty nice action coming back off support. Let's see if that support really lines up or not recently. Kind of it does over the past few days. There has been a couple of hits here. Decent hold so far. SPY's now pulled back a significant amount from the high of the day, so that does worry me a little bit, but this uptrend could definitely continue. SPY's already up 1% though, so I feel like it's going to be hard to get much more of a rally going. If we do break out, I really don't see SPY getting past like 688.50, but every time I say that, SPY rips right past, so watch out. Walmart just marches on up, Coconut says. WMT. Wow, yeah, no kidding. Up another 1% plus. That is a good march forward. How are the other more value stocks or slower movers doing? Pepsi up 1% today. Looking at the daily, oh yeah, still marching higher there too. KO. It just never ends with these stocks. What in the hell? UPS even. Somebody pinch me. Love this move. Good shit, UPS. Keep it up. Once UPS got to right here, I was kind of expecting that it was going to start falling back down in this zone, and I was going to be forced to take some profits, but my gosh, I love the way it held here, and great hold and run. Normally we don't see that good of a hold like that, so that's a nice hit there. MSTR 15%. I'll probably be taking profits the next couple of days, though. At least locking some in. Good old UPS. Oh yeah, it is, Jake. It's the, what we like to call rotation out of tech. You wish Waymo had an IPO? Well, they're owned by Google, aren't they? I feel what you mean, though. That would be pretty neat to see him on the market for sure. I'm sure it would be a fun one to trade. It'd be a fun one to trade.
Today, Junior!
Every once in a while, we have to pull that one out of the history books. What's up, Brain? Perfect timing. Just getting started for the McDonald's speech today, Brain. McDonald's up 0.83%, kind of following along with Walmart and some of the others that are still on the run. Waymo won't come to Massachusetts because Massachusetts is protecting Uber and Lyft's drivers union. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that those were some blocking points for Waymo. I think Waymo just came to St. Louis, Missouri. I'm not quite sure, though. I'm not a big driving with people person. I'm not a good getting rides person, I'll say. For sure, maybe pigs in a blanket. McRib's still on. No, the McRib's gone, Brain. been gone for about a month now, I think. Maybe like the new year. Oh, today's Energy Transfer's EX dividend date. Okay. Oh, yeah. See how ET does here. Starting to turn over a bit, Tangy. You getting worried? Waymos are taking over LA. In less than a year, it's doubled for sure, and their map coverage has expanded quite a bit. I've heard Waymo's gotten a lot more popular. I've had some people get in them who I know and send me videos and stuff. Oh my gosh, Coconut, I've seen those at Walmart, and I've been tempted, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. You're probably right, though. It probably is. That's hilarious. It's almost time for the Shamrock Shake. How's Jack doing? Remember they... Oh, wow, they're doing pretty good still. Jack in the Box stock. I'll have to try it, Coconut, because I might really do it. I don't know if I could. I can mentally do it from McDonald's. I don't know about the banquet frozen dinner, though. Palantir really pulling back down under 145. Parkour into Lumen. Man, Palantir is having a rough drop-off, guys. That is a nasty pullback. Palantir hasn't really experienced this on the way up, at least not this much chop with a pullback. I mean, there was a massive pullback here, but it wasn't near as choppy. It didn't last near as long. And whenever it broke that recent high, or that high there, it really ran. Whereas this time, you know, it really failed to break out and died each time. Third time's the charm, as they say. Like, the third big test of that support is what did it in. Palantir beats every expectations equals dump. Clown World. What about USOR? Thoughts? USOR. That's an interesting one. I was going to say, I've never heard of it. What is that? Oh, do you mean USAR? You must mean AR. USA Rare Earths. I feel like it could continue down, actually, in the short term. I don't love the way that it's ripped up here recently, and I really feel like that these rare earth stocks are starting to lose their momentum in the shorter term. I would not be surprised if it ended up moving down a little bit more. It's really hard to justify buying and holding these with the volatility that they have. I like the scalps and intraday opportunities, but Max says, I'm new to trading, but SLV looks crazy. SLV is pretty crazy right now. If we're being honest, it's normally not this crazy. You know, if you're looking at SLV, you know, it'll have decent runs and recoveries and stuff, but the past couple years, it has been especially wild. And once you get to this year, or, well, even 2025 at the end, my gosh. Yeah, it's normally not this volatile, but yeah, gold and silver have been really crazy. Realize that they won't be that crazy forever, though. There will be an eventual pullback and slowdown. I actually think that we're starting to see the beginning of a much larger pullback and slowdown. Again, it doesn't mean that it's going to go straight down, though. Like, there's going to be big volatile moves mixed in, so you have to be very wary of that. Don't just short and think that you can just hold put options and win right away. You might have to go through a lot of bad volatility first. I did love MSTR earnings report. I actually had to ask Discord, in all seriousness, how you could lose 1,300% year over year. 1,300%? I didn't do a deep dive into MSTR's earnings, but they are moving higher here, 16% today. Bouncing back, of course. This one was a sell the rumor, buy the news. The dollar is worth less and less every day, and useful rocks are worth more and more every day. Just saying. It's kind of true, though, Tangy, isn't it? Elite says, Tom, with tech selling off, why do you think Apple's holding up so well? Just curious. Seems completely unaffected. AAPL really is holding up well. You know, it's been pretty strange with Apple recently. They had that massive sell-off, but whenever we think about some of these Mag 7 sell-offs like Microsoft, Apple's been doing a lot better here, and they recently had pretty good earnings, and on that earnings report, they announced that iPhone 17 sales were good, and you know, we've really seen a pretty good recovery up since then. So this is something pretty big to keep in mind whenever you're looking at Apple. They're not necessarily a stock that's been super correlated to SPY either. You can see strong positive correlation at 0.83, but it's not as high as, well, Nvidia or something, which is like 0.96, which still Apple's a big stock in the S&P, but it's just, you know, how it is. Sometimes you have stocks that just outperform others, and you know, in this case, Apple is one of those that, like you said, holding up a lot better. A lot of stocks moving up today, though. Man, NVIDIA, 6.25% here. Really ripping and holding that 180 support we talked about. Tesla's making a new high of the day. Beautiful. Exxon still moving higher and marching too. Looking through a couple things here real fast. Apple's not spending on the AI build out. I saw that they were going to be working with Gemini. I think that they chose for their Siri upgrades. So they're definitely going to be doing something with AI. I don't know how they're going to be doing it necessarily, but let me pull that up really quick. Apple picks Google's Gemini to run AI-powered Siri coming this year, but they're not making their own like real AI, which is cool. They're having it ran with Gemini, which is pretty cool. I kind of like it. I think it's a smart move by them not to do that, but it is going to be a multi-year partnership with Google now where they're going to have to pay, but a major Siri upgrade expected later this year. All right. I really want to buy that Apple folding phone whenever it comes out. That's what I'm going to be buying. I don't know what happens to that care. Hey, let's go, Plunder. Appreciate the comments there. Dangerman said Palantir is about to bounce off the monthly 20 moving average. It might be time for at least a slight pop back up. At least some consolidation or something. They have share buybacks from 2 years ago that never got exercised? Really? If we could verify some of that, that'd be nice, but don't forget to vote up in the poll, guys. 50 votes, that's a pretty good poll. But get more in. Let's see if we can hit 75 today. That'd be pretty cool. We need 25 more. What we're looking at is this overall pattern with the SPY here. The SPY is in a very interesting position. It keeps stair-stepping to the upside, essentially going like this on the way up. And what we're seeing right now is a test of this low. Are we going to continue with the stair-step pattern, or are we going to end up turning down and breaking under the stair-step pattern? Just vote however you feel, bullish or bearish. Will the pattern hold? Will it break? So far, the pattern's held up very well on the way up. But as of right now, it's been testing that recent low. I need to grab a drink really quick, guys, while you vote up. But yeah, get them in. All right, guys. With that said, let's see if Earnings Whispers posted up the new earnings chart. Somebody asked in Discord, and I figured we might as well look. All right, Whispers, is it up yet? There we go. 1 hour ago, they posted it. Here's what we're looking at for next week. Some big names out there. Oh yeah. Pretty big names. McDonald's is there, really? McDonald's on Wednesday in pre-market. Wow, they had it hidden down there a little bit. They put Kraft Heinz over McDonald's? How dare you, Earnings Whispers? How dare you do that?
How dare you?
Oh my gosh, even Greta's pissed.
How dare you?
Oh, double angry. Wow. It's pretty rare she comes back for seconds. Any news hit recently? Looking at something? I just saw that China banned domestic and overseas entities from issuing cryptocurrencies without approval. I know that was some earlier news, but I saw another headline for it. Okay. Nvidia is extending its gains. Oh yeah, Nvidia right up to 183 resistance here. Really nice jump still. Wow, what a day, guys. What a great past couple days. Just amazing opportunities coming through. My word, my word, my word. Short McDonald's next week with the way earnings are going. They might be one of the only good earnings out there. I'll tell you what I've really been liking lately with McDonald's is on their app, they have these like really good deals all the time. And man, the deals are really good. Their $4 breakfast combos, your go-to. At McDonald's, they have a $4 combo thing? I didn't even know that. Yeah, I like elites. I like what Elite said. Elite, you put it in a really good, serious way there. If you're not using the McDonald's app, you're losing in life. Yeah, yes. You're 100% losing in life if you're not using that. You know, the best part, I used to not want to use it, and then I started using it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm stupid. There's a video of the CEO eating the new Arch Burger. What's the Arch Burger? Is that coming out soon or something? I've never seen that. I want one though, I'll tell you that. Those $1 McChickens saved your life several times. Now it's the $3.50 McChicken. Man, Tesla's pretty powerful here. SPY's testing the high of the day. We might be getting a breakout coming through. It's getting close. $686.50 on the SPY. Let's see if we can break through or not. Looks like we might be getting it to go happen here in just a couple minutes. Maybe even on this 1 minute candle. Oh yeah, Care. The fries are fairly expensive. I never felt like that they were too much though. Normally they have like really good deals with the fries. Like I'll normally have something that says like get a free large fry with purchase of $5 or something like that. Is usually what something like that. Ooh. Right now they have a 2 for $7.50 deal. That's silly. I remember those things used to be like 2 for $4, and then it changed to 2 for $5, and then now it's 2 for $7.50. They don't want you to see it, Tangy. Almost 60 votes in the poll, though. Appreciate that, guys. Get those votes going. The votes are on the SPY. The SPY is doing very well today. 686.70 coming up. Recovering off the dip. If we look at the daily chart, the SPY started to really break this zone lately. So if we see a good confirmation down under this double bottom, that'll be time to, trade it lower. But we could have ended up seeing a bounce higher too. And so far we are. Generally when we've seen this, it has continued up very, very well. And Robert coming through. Hey, Chief, thoughts on 1 month out calls on Walmart, even with earnings? IV is below 30%, so I can't imagine it hurting much, even if I'm wrong. Stay blessed. 1 month out calls on Walmart, even with earnings. The IV is below 30%. It still can get hurt from the IV crush. Keep that in mind. the biggest problem with Walmart here is that they've been killing it, right? They've been crushing it. That doesn't mean that their earnings are going to send the stock up, though. It definitely doesn't. Look at MSTR. Here, I'll give you an opposite example. Look at MSTR, how it was dying. It's literally Walmart, but flipped over. And it was dying, but it ended up bouncing back, right? It bounced back pretty well. Sitting around like 126.50 or so. Good overall bounce back. But whenever I look at MSTR, it was really dying off there. So it doesn't mean that just because, you know, it's dying that the earnings are going to send it lower or higher. And of course you know that, but I think that it's something to be just wary of here. Now, I love the way Walmart's trending. I could still see the trend going up. I am a bit worried that here you'll end up getting caught into something like this, and that could really dampen your mood for a while, right? Before the uptrend continues. You said 1 month out as well, right? Let's see. 1 month out calls. So the problem is you're trading it a month out, but the earnings is on February 19th. So at that point as well, you'll have seen all of the time decay from now all the way till February 19th. And that's a pretty big negative in my eyes. I would really suggest going with a call debit spread. Maybe you could buy like the 130 strike calls and you could short the 140s. Something like that. Maybe you could buy the 125s and short the 135s or short the 140s. You know, you can play around with it a little bit, but that would help you take advantage of the higher premiums right now with Walmart call options since Walmart's been so hot lately. It'll limit your gains, but again, you'll still have pretty good gains there if you look at the potential. Whenever I look at Walmart, though, it's imperative to realize just how overextended it really has become. And if you're gonna trade, like let's say out to February 19th, you need more time than 1 month. You really do. Like, you shouldn't really ever buy call options that expire, like let's say on March 6th. Let's say that they expire March 6th. You should never really buy those, because what happens is you're holding for too long through that time decay. You might be right. You might catch a lucky move, but a lot of the time I see traders do that and then they end up getting ripped apart. If you're going to hold for that long, I would suggest getting maybe 2+ months of time. At least 2. Appreciate it as always, though, Robert. Seriously. But okay, guys. The Super Bowl is this weekend. Super Bowl Sunday coming up. Patriots versus the Seahawks. Who will win? Who will lose? I'm curious. I want you guys to throw it in the chat. Throw out your pick. I would do a poll on it, but I think I'll run the poll in Discord itself. Ooh. Matt's put in the off-topic channel. You always talk about food, takeaway food. For me, it's that long slog between lunch and dinner, and listening to you guys talk about burgers always makes me hungry. But we are just about to get our first Wendy's. Never had one. Is it any good? How does it compare to Burger King and McDonald's? You know, that's a good question, Matt. The Wendy's isn't bad. It's really not too bad. I would say go there and get the Baconator. If you're going to get anything, get the Baconator. Hands down, the best thing that they have there. They also have the Son of Baconator, which is just a little smaller version, which might be better, depending on what you like. For me, Wendy's is really good for a very quick, cheap lunch. That's usually what Wendy's for me is for. I don't go there and get the big burgers. I don't go there very often. But when I go there, I get like their $5 biggie bag or $4 biggie bag or something like that. It comes with like a junior bacon cheeseburger, French fries, chicken nuggets, and a drink. And it's like $4 or $5 or something, like I said. So that's generally what I get if I go there. But I don't go to Wendy's very often compared to the others. I would say if I had to rank like McDonald's at like an 8, Burger King at like a 7, I'd probably put Wendy's at like a 5.5. Like, I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. I definitely think it's okay though. All right, too much Wendy's. All right, back into the Super Bowl. Who's winning the Super Bowl here? Let's go. Yeah, I would do that Baconator combo is what I would get. BK is better than most. BK is really good. I actually had that for dinner last night. Believe it or not. I actually ate dinner 2 times, but that was my first dinner. I'm trying to gain weight out here. J-Duck said I used to get the Asiago Ranch chicken. So let's see. What do we got? Patriots. Seahawks. Okay. Spicy chicken's great too. It's crazy how the chat gets to food every time. Guys, Spy just pulled back with 3 pretty nasty candles here. Uh-oh. U.S. State Department's issuing some statements right now, guys. Seems like some headlines are truly hitting there as the SPY starts to pull back. Okay, though, I'll tell you what. We're going to end the current poll on SPY. It looks like the pattern holding clearly won. Let's actually do a Super Bowl poll. All right, vote it up. Vote it up. Let's go. Let's get it. Super Bowl poll. Who do you got? Patriots or Seahawks? Or you can say you don't like it. One or the other. It would be funny if people said that they don't like it and that won the poll. Don't vote that way, though, unless you really think. But I'm curious, who's going to get it? I want this poll to be huge. Let's get the poll going. Let's see if it can beat the votes on the first poll. We always like the fun ones out here. They always tend to do better. You're only watching for the halftime show. I don't blame you there. Gosh, guys, SPY's really pulling back now. You've been doing smoked salmon with salad, Brain said. That sounds great. I actually love that stuff. Smoked salmon is fantastic. I would probably rather prefer pan-seared salmon, but either way. Get those votes going in the poll, though. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Oh, you seared on the pan? And it's smoked. Double the goodness. Gosh, you guys are really getting me hungry now today. Somebody posted this card of Trump in the Discord, the Orange Wizard of Tariffs. Immediately halves your portfolio. I thought this was funny. Figured you guys would get a little kick out of that today. That'll be our Friday funny for the day. I replied though and put Jerome Powell, the master of quantitative summoning. Oh gosh. There's so many cards out there. I started looking up Yu-Gi-Oh cards for like Powell and stuff. Gosh, I'm seeing them for Trump. I'm seeing them for Jensen Wong. Man. Supreme Court keeping quiet on tariffs. You know, I haven't heard anything about that lately. That's a good point. Got a bank statement from Bank of America. Only problem is I don't have an account. Maybe it's a scammer, Rick. Be careful. This year's been terrible so far, Brain said. It's definitely been very volatile. I'll say that. I can't believe the SPY went negative on the year, though. On that drop-off yesterday. At least it came back. VT says, SanDisk dropping. It is, or has been this morning. It's trying to hold the support zone, though. Be wary, it might hold here. Now, look, there could be some good opportunity. Let's say that you make up a really decent trading plan for later in the day. Maybe you set up an alert, and it starts to break down, and maybe you try to, you know, catch like a not a big scalp, maybe like a very quick scalp. I mean, you don't have to have a crazy risk-reward ratio. You could just have it around 1, but either way, you could try to catch like some type of decent scalp here as the breakdown occurs. I like the opportunity if it does continue down. Just have a good plan going into it. Of course, I like the thesis if you do look at the low of day for a breakdown. Especially if the SPY turns back over here. That would be pretty advantageous then, but I'm not really banking on the SPY turning over. SPY's actually channeling right now, I'm pretty sure. Let me see if this is what it... Nope. Hang on one second. It's more like this. I don't really love the channel. I don't love the channel right there. Probably look at it more of like this, but I like the lower trend that's starting to at least form here. If that breaks down intraday, that's where I'll start to look to be a bit more bearish, but it has been uptrending today pretty well. There's no real sign of a turnover yet. The only negative is the real double top rejection that just occurred. Hey, let's go, Care. Appreciate you sticking with us. One second, guys. There's SPY right back to that high of the day. Third test coming up. Yeah, degenerate. It did whipsaw back today. Yeah, no kidding. I know exactly what you meant. Yeah. That makes sense. It really did whipsaw back too. I remember that. Good analysis there. Good call. It has been whipsawing. We had a few days without a real whipsaw coming in where it still continued down every day. But today we did see that whipsaw happen. If we go to that daily chart, you can see how recently, whenever it's gotten towards this zone, it has whipsawed back pretty hard too. I see what you're saying. It really fell out of the zone and whipsawed right back right after that fall down. Or that breakdown, I should say. Breakdown sounds better. I'm still not seeing anything that shows useful quantum computing's around the corner. I know, I think it's going to be more behind the scenes stuff, right? I'm curious what these people are going to be trying to develop with it, though. I would think that given all the computing power and stuff with AI and just, you know, the market and things going forward, I think it's important to look at and keep on the radar for sure. I do think that it'll be an emerging sector as the years go. I'm not saying that it's gonna, you know, explode back or anything right now, but yeah, some things like QUBT, maybe QBTS, Rigetti, stocks like that are getting crushed right now. Is UPS still doing good today? Oh, they pulled back a little bit. That's okay. Looks like they're holding their ground maybe for an afternoon rally. Look at the support holding up. Right around 116.80 there. DraftKings. I started thinking about DraftKings, the stock, 5.76% to the upside today ahead of the Super Bowl. I wonder how they're going to do. I hope that they don't report bad numbers because of Polymarket and Kalshi taking stuff from them. Maybe they'll come through and report an uptick in users or something, but I don't know. That's a pretty bad drop-off that we're seeing there. $33 votes only for the Super Bowl, guys. Come on, get the poll going. Unless you're busy or something. But, hey. No harm, no foul. Just throw it up there. Hell yeah, like Brain said also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Always helps to support the channel, of course. Those are rookie numbers, Brain. Yeah, vote in the poll and like it. Same time. Does the hybrid bot hit well? I've never tried it. Yeah, it's in the pullbacks channel. What it essentially does is it looks at the callouts that go into the high risk breakouts channel. And what it does is it looks for pullbacks that occur. And what it's calling out is stocks that have essentially pulled back, or options, we'll say, that pulled back from where they were. And it might create a better like buying opportunity, right? Like one, you know, recently called out with Apple. Apple's it's downtrending as of right now. So the thought process is that, okay, you know, Apple's in this downtrend. There's a support here. You know, you could possibly go for like a long position up with Apple for a trend continuation. Maybe stop out like under that recent support. Maybe set it up something like this. Maybe you could target slightly higher if you really wanted to. But I like the way that it's setting up there. And if we look at it, it says this tight stop would be like 278.86 or something. No way, that's so funny. That's literally right where I put. Oh no, I have 277, sorry. I went $1 down more because of that support there on the stop, but I think that it's a decent setup there. And again, it's looking at those pullbacks for different types of opportunities. You know, sometimes like if you're trading momentum callouts, you know, you might see the call out come out at the top. Whereas like in the pullbacks channel with the hybrid bot, you know, you're looking at call outs that come in like on a pullback, for example, generally. Of course, plays will fail. That's where like some charting analysis and stuff will help you a lot down the line. Like being able to look at Apple and say, okay, you know, there is a support range here. Like, where should my stop be? Like, okay, like, let's throw it under the support range. At least give it a chance to hold support if it will try. And some people set them up differently, too. It's just, that's how I like that specific one. People will like if you tell them SPY will moon. And if the bottom is in. And we're all going to be trillionaires. Let's go, guys. The bottom's in. We're all going to be trillionaires. Are we happy? SPY's up 1.4%, though, actually breaking through resistance here, which is nice. Making a new high of the day. Getting up towards much larger resistance that I'm watching for, like 688.50. Whoa, one sec, guys. Something weird happened. I'm gonna throw up the Mag 7 setup really quick, take a quick intermission. I'll be right back. Man, oh man, all right. Sorry about that, guys. I am back. Wow, that was pretty strange. There's a wind, there's a windstorm here, and it blew my barbecue pit over. Crazy. I had to go get a weight and throw the weight on there. 43 votes in the poll. Seahawks is winning the poll, though, right now. I want to pick the Patriots, but then that means that they're going to lose. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks. Okay. Ooh. Oh no, it's not a very nice one, Brain. My fiance got me this like cheap barbecue pit a long time ago. Let me see if I can find one to show you what it looks like. It's pretty heavy. It was pretty heavy, don't get me wrong, but it looks something like this. This is what it looks like. But down she went. I'm actually getting a new one here this spring, but since we moved now, but oh yeah, it is top heavy, yeah. Seahawks are gonna win, Degenerate said. Those are some pretty good numbers there, though, in the poll. 44% think the Seahawks will win. That's pretty good. I always do a bet on the Super Bowl, and I pick who's going to get the first touchdown. That's one of the big things that I do first. So who's going to get the first touchdown? That's the big question. Not which team, which person. Who's going to score it? Nice move there by Spy, though. Still holding that high of the day. Nice, consistent action. Zom started slowing up today. I'm not too sad about that. Same thing with UPS. Both are slowing down. DraftKings has been pretty hot today, though, continuing in a great fashion. MicroStrategy actually leads our watch list up today, up 20%. Because they've been dying lately, so now they had that 20% ripper. Navitas Semiconductor, 16.3%. NVTS. Wow. That is a pretty beautiful move there by Navitas still. Sold one of those Palantir calls from yesterday for an easy $220. Really? Nice one. That was a really good comeback, though. PLTR. A lot of stocks recovering today, though. CoreWeave, SMR. SMR is 15% today. Wow. And it's still running higher, too. Some of these stocks can have wild moves. SMR could be extremely fun for a possible day trade here. Big Bear. They're all up over 10. I don't know that I've ever had this many stocks up over 10% on my watch list before. That might be a new high. I don't know. That's a lot. It makes sense, though, with how much things have died off lately. Wow. All right, well, I'll tell you guys what, it's been one hell of a morning so far. I think we're going to call it there, though. Got some stuff to take care of today, but hope everybody has a great Super Bowl. 43 votes in the poll. You guys voted Seahawks. I guess that means that's how I have to bet. That's how the betting's going to go then. Alrighty, guys, have a great one. Seriously, get out there, have a good time at the Super Bowl this weekend. Be ready for Monday. Let's get out there, let's crush it. There's a lot of fun stuff going on. Don't forget to check out the video this Sunday night as well. Maybe after the Super Bowl's over, head over to StockedUp. Check out the video, leave us a comment. Maybe let us know how your thoughts were on the Super Bowl. Be interested to hear it. All right, see you guys later. Have a great one.